woman, allegedly, and they drove off.
What was the reaction to that testimony?
Well, people, they are calling for justice on Jocelyn, and they are also angry that a child could have been sold so cheap, let alone the price. It's also believed that Kelly could not even get the money she sold the child for, the 20,000 rand. So the people are very angry, but also they are patiently listening to the evidence in chief from Ms. Lombard, because you must remember later on she will have to be cross-examined, and that is expected to come in next week.
Who else is expected to take the stand today and early next week?
Well, that we cannot say for sure, because when you asked the NPA this week, they said they were not at liberty to disclose the witnesses, because you must remember, in between the short of space of time, they are approaching almost the half of the number of the witnesses. We had about 89 witnesses on the list, but whose names and details are not for public consumption until the actual court proceedings.
All right, thank you very much to our reporter Mlamli Maneli watching that ongoing court case. Let's go ahead now to Khayelitsha Magistrates Court. It's expected there to deliver judgment on the bail application of rape-accused pastor Xolani Mbeka. Social justice activists have called for a harsh punishment after Mbeka, who was charged with multiple statutory and attempted rape charges relating to rapes of 6 young girls. SABC News reporter Mbali Tumfa filed this report.
Judgment in the bail application of a Khayelitsha pastor, Archbishop Xolani Mbeka, is expected to be passed down today. He is facing multiple charges of rape after 6 young girls came forward. Charges include attempted rape, attempted murder, and domestic violence. The pastor was initially arrested and charged with 1 count of rape and 1 of assault with the intent to do grievous bodily harm. He was arrested by the Khayelitsha Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Unit after claims that he has assaulted and raped victims at his church between November 2022 and January this year. It's alleged that the pastor would convince people to have sexual intercourse with him in exchange for healing. The 50-year-old had appeared briefly in the Khayelitsha Magistrate Court, where he was expected to apply for bail. His lawyer had requested more time to consult with his clients following additional charges brought forward. Court proceedings will follow shortly.
Staying in the courts, convicted murderer Reinach Leach has been sentenced to 25 years imprisonment for the October 2021 murder of his girlfriend Vicky de Blanche. Leach murdered Vicky and buried her in a shallow grave, allegedly in conspiracy with Vicky's estranged husband Arnold de Blanche. SABC News reporter Sinetemba Witi filed this report.
The Gqeberha High Court has sentenced Reinach Leach to 25 years in prison for the 2021 murder of his girlfriend Vicky de Blanche. Leach, who was allegedly hired by Vicky's estranged husband Arnold de Blanche, was found guilty of all 8 charges against him, including murder and conspiracy to murder. Acting Judge Samson Dunya noted Leach's mental health struggles and drug addiction, but emphasized the seriousness of femicide and gender-based violence in this country. Despite this, the court considered his early plea guilty and remorse in reducing his sentence from the prescribed life imprisonment and ruled that his sentence would run concurrently. He's been sentenced to an effective 25 years. 23 for murder and 10 for conspiracy, but 8 of those 10 will be served concurrently with the murder, making it that effective 25 years. All lesser charges will be served concurrently.
SABC News reporter Sinetemba Witi.
Jazz lovers, the wait is over. Africa's grandest gathering returns on the 25th to the 26th of April at the Cape Town International Convention Center. Experience 2 nights of soul-stirring jazz, electrifying collaborations, and over 30 world-class artists across 4 iconic stages. Don't miss this unforgettable musical experience. Get your tickets now at ticketmaster.co.za. Brought to you by Independent Media, proud media partner of the Cape Town International Jazz Festival.
After what transpired in Loftus last month, the boys of Coach Rivero believe this is the perfect time for revenge against Masandawana. But the highly confident Brazilians want to double the Buccaneers' pain as Mnyamangenkani versus Kabuyelo. This is a massive meeting of giants, the Betway Premiership. Witness Mzansi's beautiful game, Orlando Pirates versus Mamelodi Sundowns on Sunday, 16 March at 2:30 p.m. live on SABC1 and at 3:30 p.m. on SABC radio stations. Also available at your fingertips on SABC Plus. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Mzansi, it's raining jackpots this March. A storm of cash is coming your way with 53 million rand in total guaranteed Powerball and Daily Lotto jackpots this Friday. Don't miss out. Play Powerball for a guaranteed 52 million rand and Daily Lotto for a guaranteed 1 million rand jackpot. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120*7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old to play responsibly. E2 is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
Not all MBAs are created equal. At Henley Business School Africa, we deliver career growth and advancement that goes beyond borders. As South Africa's only global business school, our internationally accredited MBA connects you to 100,000 alumni in 155 countries. Ranked #1 in the world by The Economist for alumni network power, Henley is your gateway to a global career and the confidence to lead anywhere. Ready to make your mark? Visit henleysa.ac.za.
Don Gerika on SAFM.
8 minutes to 1 o'clock. The Northwest Department of Community Safety and Transport Management and its sister Department of Education have admitted to have violated the rights of many children to basic education. They've acknowledged that they failed to provide adequate scholar transport. South African Human Rights Commission has concluded its 3-day probe into scholar transport challenges. The inquiry came after numerous complaints were reported about scholar transport across the province. Khonse Sekanso attended the hearings in Mahikeng and compiled this report.
Guys, we are in Italy.
Accompanying her arts and culture counterparts to Italy, MEC for Education Viola Mutsumi failed to appear before the South African Human Rights Commission to account for her department's role in attending to scholar transport challenges. The commissioner found her to be in contempt of what her office stands for. Commissioner Nomahlubi Kwinana elaborates.
So is there proof of why it was imperative for her to travel to Italy? When one has regard to a right that is being violated in the country, where other people would even say, the province is burning, and we have the head of the executive who's out of the country without proper explanation to a Chapter 9 institution that deals with the human rights.
However, the acting HOD of the department, Prince Masilo, cited budgetary constraints as reasons to failure to provide more than 8,000 learners across the province with scholar transport.
I'm aware that we have submitted the request for these learners to be supported, and we've been promised that come the new financial year, they might come up with something.
Community Safety and Transport Management MEC Vessels Moraine admitted that their failure to resolve scholar transport challenges violate learners' right to basic education.
In some instances, I must agree that they might have violated their rights. For instance, if the bus cannot be able to come in the morning to pick learners to school, that's violation of their rights, because it means they would have lost that day. It was my responsibility to ferry learners from point A to point B, which is at school where they are supposed to receive their education as stipulated in the Constitution.
Civic organization Sanko's Tepo Koza testified about their interaction with the bus drivers.
Driving this bus, it have been broken for a while. We are still waiting for department to pay us so that we can go and fix the bus.
Teachers' unions are equally worried by inconsistencies in the scholar transport sector, as Satus Els Temba and NAPTO's Khomoto Hans explain.
there are instances where we talk about the unreliable service that is being provided, where in the main it will then lead to late or inconsistent transport schedules that disrupt teaching and learning in our schools.
SHRC intend to take legal actions against MEC of Education over her failure to appear before the Commission. I am Khonse Sekhanto in Mahikeng.
Just about 1 o'clock, we got mining matters coming up in a moment. Just quickly, just a reminder, unfortunately can't get hold of the IEC, but just a reminder that the Electoral Commission has issued a notice of cancellation of registration of inactive political parties. It continues the names of 192 political parties that are not represented in any legislative body, have not contested general elections since they were registered, or have not renewed their registration by the 31st of January this year. In terms of the Electoral Commission's Act, they've given notice to those 192 political parties of its intention to cancel their registration. Those parties have until the 24th of March to make representations. A list of the parties that have been issued with notices can be found on elections.org.za. Follow the links from the websites, www.elections.org.za. If you want to find out more, you can go to all of their social medias, Facebook, Instagram, they're on TikTok, YouTube, and website as well, or get hold of their call center, 0800 11 8000.
We're delving deeper into the world of mining and engineering. From the coalface with Martin Creamer.
Martin Creamer, publishing editor of Engineering News and Mining Weekly. Ferro alloy producers partnering to fine-tune a new technology. Tell us about this.
This is fantastic news. It can reindustrialize South Africa. We always dominated ferrochrome. We were the biggest in the world. We did very well in ferromanganese, but we lost out because Eskom pushed the electricity price sky high. Now, what has happened? African Rainbow Minerals, headed by Dr. Patrice Motsepe and Glencore South Africa, they are working together to lower the power factor, so you use much less electricity and you get that market back, which will be incredible for South Africa because we add value to our metals here. We beneficiate it. As we heard from the EU yesterday, this is what we should be doing. This is what we can do. The technology is there. They'll know by May whether they'll go ahead.
And some great ways to get more platinum out of the ground?
You know, you've got these reef. You've got reef where the platinum is in that reef. Some of the reef is big. Some of it's